What is up, California firework lovers? You're here to figure out what to buy this year, or you're just a safe and sane firework lover and you're trying to figure out which fountains and stuff is the best to buy this year. And if you're tired every year of buying $200, $300 assortments and you get 7 seconds of sparks like this every year, and you're like, man, these fountains suck, and you want something that kind of looks like this, well, welcome. You're home. This is Beastlol's Fireworks. I've been doing firework reviews and analysis for, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years. So why should you listen to me? Well, I've been doing this for a while. And yeah, so enough of me talking. Right off the bat, Phantom in 2025 is not a winner. I'm just going to be blunt with you there. So there's going to be a lot of items glossed over, but if I'm going to do right off the bat, you're here for what you need to buy. So you're tired of me yapping, it's only been less than a minute in, I'm going to give you the top three right now. Number one is going to be Stormrunner. It is BOGO $49.99. I apologize for the blurriness, but you're going to have to deal with it because Phantom, they suck at releasing prices. So right off the bat, we have our new, well, it's a little bit new, I guess. I don't know. Prices, whatever. So be aware of the Stormrunner. There's two versions. So this is the. I'm not gonna watch the whole fountain. You guys can do that on, and I really prefer you to go see it in person to buy it and experience, and hopefully we get some more videos out and see if we have this version. So the good version of the Stormrunner is this. It's got this giant crackle. This is Matt's California Fireworks. Good video on this. This is a really good fountain. One of the best crackles that you can really get outside of some of the TNT stuff. This beats kind of living the dream. It's just a little bit shorter. So be advised though, this is also the other version that's floating around out there. Completely different crackle. This is the finale stage. Completely different. They're not even remotely the same. So be advised. From my understanding, there's like two different firework manufacturers, and one's from one country and one's from the other. I don't know which one is which. If I can figure that out, as soon as I do, I will let you guys know. Second must-have item is going to be Spirit of the Night. It's a new item this year, $24.99. There's another new $29.99 flower pot or happiness fountain, I think it's called. Don't even look at it. We'll go over it later. We're doing the top three right now. Spirit of the Night. So this is the NJ Pyro, another safe and sane fountain lover. Really good video here if you guys are interested in this one. I like it. It's got some nice little willow sizzle effects, and then it goes into more willow, which this is a rare one. It's very similar to the one I got in the back there by Winda. And then you have some flying fish or bees or whatever. The fish term is actually nitrocellulose in the fountain world, but I like to call it fish because that's what it does. It flies around, zips around. So really nice, like similar to TNT Crypto if you've had that. And it finishes off with a little bit of chrysanthemums, kind of a quieter fountain. Nice purples at the end there. Nothing really loud and crazy. It's just this fountain is really good effects. I recommend getting two, putting them at least a couple feet apart. Angling them or elevating is the best course of action when it comes to the Spirit of the Night. And the video you saw earlier was not the actual fiery frog, but this is the modified frog. Basically, this is just jumbo crackle balls stuffed in the eyes and the mouth, and it instantly explodes into a menagerie. So obviously, the frog really doesn't look like that, but I had to put him as an honorable mention because he's the mascot of the channel, and if you don't, he haunts you. So fiery frog. But if I were the real top three, the last one on my list is going to be Flaring Stars, $18.99, low noise, another really good, like very gentle effects. Once again, we have that. It's a little bit lower than most. Once again, highly recommend elevating this one. It's got the nice flying fish, so nice little to break it up. Phantom really sucks with the novel or not the novelties. Excuse me. I'll correct myself in a minute there. Phantom really sucks with the 500 grammars. They've always had. They don't really have good finales. You're going to have to go to TNT if you have a larger budget, and possibly Freedom/DFS if you have that available to you, which that'll be in the Ultimate Buyer's Guide. This is just for Phantom because I haven't done it yet. So this is Flaring Stars. This is Redbeard's video. Really good fountain. If you like that fish effect, if you like TNT Crypto, if you had it before, I really like it. It's a new kind of changes things up. It definitely it diverts from that kind kind of basic colors. You have the chrysanthemums, the crackle, and the little pearls. Kind of adds a little bit more pizzazz to your show. That's the top 3. Obviously, that doesn't give you your main show, right? So let's get into the actual buyer's guide, because now if you watch 5 minutes in, you actually do care about fireworks and you want to learn. So those are the top 3: Flaring Stars, Stormrunner, and Spirit of the Night / Fiery Frog. So anyways, into the buyer's guide. So I did the liberty for you guys of adding the prices. A lot of these stayed the same. There is some asterisks on some of these because I'm uncertain if these went up, just to confirm. So we're going to go over novelties first and then work our way through assortments. I'm going to try to do another video on assortments in general. I have my gripes about that assortment stuff, and we'll get there. We'll probably save that for last. So if you do not have access to a Freedom / DFS, Phantom definitely has some of the cheaper novelties. So if you got to have those sparklers, got to have those ground blooms, got to have all the kind of smaller things, Phantom is going to be better for that right off the bat. One of their better spinners is obviously their tornadoes, $3.99. Their snakes, stain some concrete for $3.99. Wolfpack Snappers $4.99. I believe you get 4 boxes. Crack the Whips $3.99. I think you get 1. Crackle Balls $3.99. As you can read for yourself. The biggest thing here is obviously their Morning Glories appear to be cheaper than both TNT / Freedom. So if you need your sparklers and you didn't order from Redbeard's Novelties for whatever reason, you might be able to get an order in maybe and get it here in time for the 4th. So I would recommend buying sparklers from there because it's cheaper. You also get some more stuff. So Redbeard's Fireworks, you can check the video on my channel. I'll hopefully try to remember. It should be at the end of this video. I'll try to remember. It should be a little card at the end to do the novelty order. Anything else in here? Nothing's going to be great. Killer bees are cheaper at TNT. So all of this, other than some of the novelties, I'm not really going to go into that because it's kind of niche. I'm going to go into what to avoid. Pretty much all of these $12.99 fountains, they're not good. The Dragon Slayer, all these just very meh. I really wasn't impressed with the $12.99 Giant Smoke. Nothing fancy there. If you really like the tanks and have a tank battle, that would be maybe. These 2 handheld sparklers are just glorified fountains you hold in your hand. If you like that and you want to do that, be my guest, but it's a skip for me. The gyro blooms really don't, I feel like, last that much longer than the ground blooms. It's just they're bigger and they're easier to see, if that makes sense, at night because they're that bigger cylinder. Obviously, the smoke balls $3.99. Moon Dance, which is Purple Rain rewrapped, $6.99, not BOGO, so I think it's like $8.99 or something at TNT. Can't confirm. That'll be in the Ultimate Buyer's Guide. This is just for Phantom. If you only have Phantom for some reason, yeah. So quick fire, rapid fire, boom. Gyro blooms, crack the whip, crackle balls, the normal ground bloom flyers, the neon $10.99 Morning Glory sparklers are way better than I believe these 30-pack. I would skip that. I'm gonna have to do a review on that. I might just have to sneak into Phantom just to buy that one thing to see what those are about. But other than that, I'm not touching Phantom with a 10-foot pole this year. Obviously, you guys couldn't see it. My big ugly head was in the way. $12.99. All these little fountains. Avoid that like the plague. So we're gonna go down into some of the other cheaper items here. So these $3.99 little intergalactic series, these are not terrible for the price if you're on a budget. So if you need some filler items and are not going the assortment route, because newsflash, if you are new and you're 8 minutes in, this is important you hear this, because if you're 8 minutes in, you actually care. And you actually care about your family, or you actually care about getting the best bang for your buck in general, and you're the pyro master and you want to learn more. Assortments are not the way to go. Just straight up, I'll have a video on assortments later. Pretty sure you can go back on my channel and watch some old assortment videos, but just no BS. Stay away from assortments. It's better to go to multiple stands and buy single items. So these $3.99 fountains are really good to kind of start off your show. Another one that I didn't go over that would have made the top 3 is going to be electric manipulation. This one, they're BOGO, so I would just buy 2 electric manipulation. Nothing else really gets that spot. It's way better to buy 2 electric manipulations, $15 each. Decent deal there. Pretty much avoid, even though you see a Komodo in the back, do not buy it. I pretty much are going to modify that to make it better and cooler. Anything here in this 500 gram area, even the crown jewel, avoid it. It's just not worth it. Not worth the money. You're better off going to TNT and buying Living the Dream, Centennial XL, X, Y, and Z. We'll do the updated buyer's guide for TNT rather soon. But this one, I want to get this one out for you guys today. Anything is better than nothing, right? So Phantom Hero series, everything in this tier is garbage. Garbanzo beans, garbage. The Captain Nuclear is this giant fountain that looks awesome. It's garbage. Avoid it. It does not last longer than electric manipulation, and you're paying literally half the price for it, almost. Obviously, half of 50 is not 30, but I'm not a math major. The only one worth anything in this tier is going to be the $12.99 one. Professor Flame is very similar to Livewire at Freedom. It's basically the smaller version of Apache Fire Dance, the OG one. This is the Apache Fire Dance Premiere. I'm not paying $90 for that. That is silly. So avoid, avoid, avoid. $12.99. Right now we already went over Stormrunner, but what I would do now, if you're feeling like you have cojones, I would get two because I like the odds. Maybe one's good, maybe one's bad. I always am going to recommend buying two. Obviously, you have the Fiery Meadow Fountain. This one's basically a spinner that we used to have back in the day. They spin. Basically, it's the only way you can get a spinner unless you go to like special stands like Blastone and Madeira or Merced, and then you have Modesto's Fireworks Unlimited. Not sure if they'll have the wheels this year, but just so you know, that's the only way to kind of get a spinner. Obviously, you have the radioactive spark. We'll get that to a minute. I always am going to say get two Stormrunners. That just increases your odds of having the chance of getting a good Stormrunner. They do have a new item here, $49.99. I'm not impressed with this window lighthouse for $50. My guess it might be even a little bit more changed to what we've seen online. So this one's going to have to be an in-person review. I'm not going to recommend it for $50, especially when you have a Stormrunner that can be 10 times better. They're not even the same ballpark, and you get two items, so you're better off getting a Meadow Flower and a Stormrunner than one lighthouse any day of the week. Dragon's Tears, I don't know if this is a good fountain, but it's not worth the $50, and it says super sale on it. It's not a super sale. It's you also have Brouhaha and Illuminati Triangle. These should be $20 straight up. These are not BOGO for some reason, and they should. Phantom, I don't know what you're doing. I'm trying to be nice this time and not be a jerk. Yeah. Anyways, another one that almost made the top three is going to be Flower Pot, good nitrocellulose fountain, but you're kind of probably, you can get the fruit bowls or a bunch of other things at TNT for around the same price. Obviously, these are BOGOs. You can get two. They're not bad. If I were to, I would probably get two of the Flower Pots as opposed to Vibrant Voltage. This thing is just, Vibrant Voltage is pretty much something that should be in assortments, and it's just nothing spectacular. Moondance Premiere, you're better off going to Freedom to get your jumbo purple rains, but I prefer getting two phantom flower pots. Yeah. Anything in this tier, the pixie dust fountain is huge, not good. Red, white, and blue jubilee, very meh, nothing. $40 is just not worth it. Funky monkey, all right, not worth $40. Scoozy. And I don't know what happened. The $90 phantom double punch, I have no idea why it should be like $40, $60. It shoots sparks out of the side, so if you're familiar with TNT's Brain Blast or Brain Buster, or Brain Blaster, Brain Buster, I don't know. One of those. It's kind of a unique one. It's also similar to the Resurrection Day slash, oh shoot, I don't remember the other one at DFS. Basically, it shoots sparks out of the side. It's kind of unique, but for $90, it's not really worth it. If the Iron Eagle was cheaper, this would definitely make the list, but for $60, it's just not worth it. This is a nice kind of similar to a fan type fountain, but not really worth the price. We're going to go back up. Another one that almost made the must-have list in the top three is going to be Serenity. Luminescence, I'm not really a fan. You're better off buying two Serenities on that one. So we already went over Spirit of the Night. Everything in here, soda pop fountains, don't buy that. Absolutely do not buy it. Fiery frog, dude. Obviously, $34.99 for the frog. Way better in this tier than the Hasta La Vista Baby. One, they changed the art, and Hasta La Vista Baby was primarily in assortments, and this is nothing special. You're better off buying the Fiery Frog just because it's more unique, and he's the mascot, and he's gonna, it's the frog, man. Um, the $99 BOGO tier, ugh, I mean, Coral Reef is the only one remotely okay. I don't like it though. It's nothing fancy. It's not worth $50 for two. Radioactive Spark, also not really worth the, unless you have the budget, the kind of show idea I have for you guys. If you're still watching, 15 minutes in for you guys watching. If you have the budget and you're only shopping at Phantom, a cool spinner board idea that I would do would be get a spinner meadow flower and then two radioactive sparks, and you just have all these crazy sparks spinning and doing all these crazy things. Really cool show idea for you guys if you need that and you have the budget to purchase that. Now, obviously, I did go over flaring stars is another nice little fish effect. I like that one. Lady Liberty, skip that one. Flaring Stars, that was in the top three. 18.99. Yeah. Anyways, assortments really quick. So this is where I get a little loose cannony, but I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna try to be good. Every assortment at Phantom is by far the worst. You can all pretty much find better at TNT at this point. And I'm gonna be doing some unboxings of some more upper priced assortments from TNT, mainly the Big Deluxe and the Big Timer. Those more expensive assortments, some of them have been updated, so I'm going to go over those and unbox them and then light them all individually, hopefully, if I have time. But for sure, the unboxing will be done, just depending on time and how much fireworks I want to light, right? Um, so assortments, the Phantom Awestruck used to be one of the best assortments you can buy, and was $200 last year, and we've seen a price hike of $90. Not sure how we did that. I would rather see a 10% increase on every single assortment than having a flat $90 increase on one item. Doesn't make any sense because the tiers, every assortment has a tier, right? So you see $74 is like well, obviously you have the 39 dollar backpack. You have the 29.99. You have these ones, right? They go up in tiers, right? 74, 109. But you're missing something, right? You have 109, and then you have the Moonstruck. With this one was about $100, so this one did stay in the same price range. But then you go from 160 to you have to jump $100 to get to the next tier, which is insane to me. So the Phantom Fire Blast came out a few years ago and it was originally $200 and it was a lot bigger than the Phantom Awestruck and Backyard Barrage. So the Phantom Fire Blast is technically supposed to be better than the Backyard Barrage and Awestruck. So technically with this price drop, either they just have so much stock of the Fire Blast that they have to lower the price, which is a possibility because this assortment is garbage. It doesn't make any sense because they screwed up the tiers and they didn't redesign it. If they redesigned the Phantom Awestruck this year, cool, awesome. I'll check that out. I gotta go sneak in and buy some Morning Glory, so I'm gonna see if they changed the Phantom Awestruck and they just kept the picture. But I can't believe it. The Backyard Bash, $900. The only thing remotely worth it, remotely, and it's not 100% worth it. I would not recommend my worst enemy to buy the Backyard Jubilee because I still feel bad. But at least with the Backyard Jubilee, these fountains are a lot better than any assortment that you can buy. And if you only wanted to go and buy one thing and leave and you had a $500 budget plus tax, boom, Backyard Jubilee is going to be your thing. But I wouldn't recommend it. It's if you have the budget, if you have like over $1,000 budget, boom, you get the Backyard Jubilee and some other sand items like we talked about the electric manipulations. You got the Stormrunners, all that stuff, and you buy some smaller stuff. Then yeah, absolutely, you can do that. If you have the budget and you only have Phantom, go for it. But that is the only thing remotely at all possible. So almost 20 minutes in, lightning round. To wrap it all up, boom, pretty much most of the novelties in the under $13 are going to be worth it here, except for the single tubers here. Everything else, when it comes to novelties, is actually decent, as maybe confetti of lights you could possibly get away with not buying that in Killer Bee. Whistling Phantoms, these are Piccolo P, $12.99. Next up, assortments. We already went over that. The only one kind of worth it, and it's way out of most people's budgets, is going to be the Backyard Jubilee. Nothing in the 500-gram tier is worth it. If it was BOGO, maybe like it was a couple years ago, but I complained and then they removed it. And say it in every video. I'm not stupid. Just let me buy a Stormrunner for $25 or $24.99 or $24.98 or whatever. Just let me buy one. Just stop with this BOGO shenanigans. It's not really BOGO. You're paying the price for two. You're not saving anything. You're not really getting it for free. Let's be real. So nothing in the 500-gram tab. The $29.99 electric manipulation times 2. These little $3.99 ones, these are great if you're starting your show and you want to build up. Good to fuse them up with a firecrackle. Boom, boom, boom. Nothing really good in the Phantom Hero series. Would love to see this thing just get nuked. Sorry, due to the recent climate of the news. Maybe not the best joke to have, but Iron Master is the only one that's remotely worth it. $12.99. Would like to see this about $9.98. $7.99 would be a more appropriate price for that. We're going to go back up. Flaring Stars, this was in the top 3. Skip the Lady Liberty, Spirit of the Night, the only thing worth it in that tab. Fiery Frog, only thing worth it in that tab. 2 Serenities, $24.99, or it's just not BOGO. Yeah, it is BOGO. So 2 Serenities, only thing worth it there. If you absolutely have to buy something, I would maybe go with 2 Radioactive Sparks or a Radioactive Spark in Coral Reef. That's if you're stuck with Phantom. I don't really like the Peacock Tail fan feather. It's very, it's like a lackluster version of Coral Reef, so you're better off going with Coral Reef. So, and I already talked about Stormrunner, must have. Nothing really in this tier. The only thing that I could recommend possibly buying in this tier would be the new item for $49.99, which isn't really worth it. The Winda rewrap of the lighthouse. Flower pots, BOGO. Don't buy Vibrant Voltage. If you want to mix it up and have some variety, I would get a flower pot in Moondance Premiere. Nothing really worth it in the red white in this tab other than the red white Jubilee. It's the only thing I can possibly recommend. The only thing I possibly recommend in this tab is Iron Eagle. So that was a rapid fire round for the Phantom Buyer's Guide of 2025. So if you like this video and you watched all the way to the end, put some frogs in the comments. Let me know that you watched it all the way through. My buyer's guides are a little long. I don't do no fancy editing. It's just me yapping. I like to keep it that way, keep it authentic. So there's that for you guys. If you don't know already, today, I don't know when this video is going to be out, but June 28th, we're giving over $1,000 in fireworks. So make sure you check out that video out, as well as the Redbeard thing, Redbeard's novelties. I gotta plug that at the end. Make sure you get your Morning Glories and cheap novelties from Papa Redbeard. I will see you in the next buyer's guides, fellas.